good-looking crowd. Thank you. Thank you. I feel a little bit like the warm-up act for the Rolling Stones, but it's good to see everybody here. How many people here are ready to retire Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and send them packing? Get President Trump into the White House. Yeah, we got to get him in the White House. How many people here are ready to retire Chuck Schumer and get a new majority in the Senate? I'm ready for that one, too. You know, first of all, it's great to be here in Johnstown, great to be here in Cambria County. Thank you all for coming today. My dad was born in Indiana County. You got any Indiana County people here? All right, and my mom was born in Jefferson County in a place called Punxsutawney. And I like to say Punxsutawney because it reminds me of Bob Casey, Punxsutawney Bob. He only pops his head up every 6 years. Am I right? We never see this guy, right? Where has he been? And I was born in Washington, Pennsylvania, but I grew up in, Washington here. I was born up in Washington, but I grew up in Bloomsburg, which is northeast Pennsylvania, up around Scranton. And listen, grew up like most of you. My folks had a farm. I baled hay. I trimmed Christmas trees. I was a bus boy. I was a paper boy. And wrestling got me into West Point. And at West Point, I was on the Army wrestling team, and then I got to go to the 82nd Airborne Division. Anybody here know the 82nd Airborne Division? And I got to serve my country in Iraq. I got to come back here to Pennsylvania and help create jobs and run a company. Listen, I've been blessed by the American dream, and I'm running because I'm worried that's not going to be available for our kids, your kids. We're not going to have that American dream unless we get the right leadership in the White House and the right leadership in Washington. And you know, you've had politicians forever coming and telling you that this is the most important election of your lifetime. How many times have we held there over 20, 30 years? The most important. I'm telling you, this is the most important election of your lifetime. If we don't get the right leadership in place, we're going to wake up one morning, we're already there, and not recognize the country in front of us. We're not going to recognize it. And look at what's happened under the failed policies, the liberal policies, the weakness of Biden, Harris, Casey. Look at where we are. Sky-high inflation that's killing working families. A war on fossil fuels that's standing in the way of the one thing that couldn't unlock all of Pennsylvania's potential. Wide open borders, wide open borders. 4,000 people last year in Pennsylvania died of fentanyl because of the wide open borders of Biden, Harris, and Casey. Crime in our cities that's moving into the suburbs, some of the most violent crime statistics in modern history, and our adversaries around the world testing us, pushing us, challenging us because they think we're weak. They think we're weak. Now imagine 4 more years of that kind of weakness, that kind of radical liberal policies under Kamala Harris. Imagine the country we would see with Venezuelan-like price controls, with a wide open border, with trillions of dollars of more spending. That is an America we don't want, which is why we need to put Donald J. Trump back into the White House and a majority in the Senate to get our country back on track. We need common sense leadership to cut spending and create opportunities for working families across Pennsylvania. We need common sense leadership to secure our borders and go after those cartels with military capability if necessary because they're killing Americans. It's common sense leadership that we need to open up our energy sector and become the most dominant energy producer in the world right here in Pennsylvania. And it's common sense that we will only have peace if we have strength. We need strength in the White House, strength in the Senate. My friends, I was at State College, Penn State, I don't know, a couple months ago. I met with a bunch of college Republicans, about 50 of them. They may have been the only Republicans at Penn State. And I said to them, what I'll say to you is, listen, I'm going to be okay no matter what happens in this election. Many of you are going to be okay. We got more years behind us than in front of us. I'm 59. I got more years behind me than in front of me. But our kids are not going to be okay. Their kids are not going to be okay. We need to treat this election like our life depends on it, because, ladies and gentlemen, it does. Let's make Pennsylvania great again. Thank you.